Hey everybody, thanks for joining me here at Power Mods. It's the XMR 1000 update 2018. I like it. I do like it. I rip it hard. Everybody, I brought it to the dealer the other day and they're like, whoa, what the heck are you doing? How long have you had this? Oh, a month. Like, how many times have you ridden it? Twice. What? Anyway, yeah, it rips really hard. Enjoying it. There are changes that have to be made to it. Just that because of inherent design kind of issues or things that make it better. It is a ride, ride out of the box kind of bike. You can take this XMR because it does have the rad relocate and it does kind of have the, the intakes up high. So you can sort of get away with it. But I've always said with bikes like this, I call them bikes, bikes like this, when you're playing in the water, when your handlebars are in the water, that's when you need to really start to be concerned about the depth. So that's kind of like my litmus test right there. So that means that as long as we have these out of the water, we're good to go. But the intake on this is actually only up to about there by the time you put the, if you took this off, you looked at it, by the time you looked at the way the intake is. And the snorkel intake is actually a little, or the clutch cover intake and exhaust are actually lower than that. So you're going to get into trouble. I do believe that they do need to be a little higher, depending on what you do. Not everybody rides like that. But if you're buying an XMR, you want to play in the water. And you're spending the extra money for all this stuff, so that's what's going to happen. Now, don't be hating. Don't be hating, okay? I drive every kind. We got a Kawasaki. I've had Polaris. I love Polaris. I work with them all the time. I've got the Can-Am right now. But if you look at this, look at the handlebars. That tire's not moving. That one's not moving either. And watch this. There's a, you can't really see it very well in there, but there's a tie rod end that attaches to the pitman arm that consistently, constantly comes loose all the time after 20 kilometers. That is loose. There's a cotter pin on top of the stud. There's no castle nut. It's just got a kind of like a lock nut, and it's not actually a tapered shaft or a tapered, a tapered tie rod end that goes up through it that might pull in and lock right up. It's actually just a hole, and I'll show you. We got one here, don't we? Yeah. So that's the pitman arm that comes out of it. A lot of times these holes are tapered so that rod end just sort of pulls right up in there, that ball joint pulls right up and locks itself in. Not the case with these. So that is always becoming loose. Not so good. And the power steering the other day when I was on the trail after a run, just started doing this. It was the weirdest looking thing. Almost ran me into another bike and then then it did run me off the trail. So something in that power steering unit is not right, and there are issues with other people having that same thing. It just starts moving back and forth. You can just let go of it and it just goes beep, 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 and that's not cool. There hasn't been a recall on it yet, but they are looking after the power steering unit. Clutching. Definitely need to change up the clutching on this bike. You can smell the clutches in low range when you're working it hard, or you can smell the belt. It comes right out the exhaust, the snorkel exhaust. So the CVT cover exhaust. So yeah, you can definitely understand that the clutches aren't working the way they're supposed to. So we got a Dalton Clutch Kit, put it on, and it's awesome. I'm going to show you how to do all that as well, because I got all this cool stuff. I've got these clutch holding tools, shaft holding tools. You got to do it the right way. If you don't do it the right way, everything comes apart and destroys everything in there. It's got to be done right. So we're going to go over that. Oh, check this out. I wanted to try this bike out to get a really good handle on it. That's why it's been in the shop here, or that's why we've had it for a month and haven't torn it right into pieces. I've driven it hard. We've gone for a bunch of runs. Now I kind of know what it needs to make it the way I want it. And it needs a locker. So we have these torque lockers. It's going in. I've used to install these on all my 4x4s. This is not new technology. I think they used to call it the minute locker or 8-minute locker, lunchbox locker. There's a whole bunch of other names for these things. Very simple product. Here, take a look at it really quickly. And it's not a very hard install either. So this is definitely going on. That's all it is. That's what goes inside there. There's another 2 little caps on it, a couple springs, some washers. That's it. That goes in there. Gives me a full locking differential in the front when you need it. It ratchets actually when you turn corners, so it's not ripping the bars out of your hands. That's going on. The skid plates that come on it are garbagey, just plastic. We lost one part of them already, blew right off. So we're putting a rival kit on it. It's full aluminum. It's a bad boy. That's all going on there. Some guys say that they don't like aluminum because it doesn't roll over the rocks very easily. I'll tell you right now, this bike is 800-900 pounds with me on it, well over 1,300 pounds. I'm just kidding. But you're looking at, you know, with all your gear, all your weight, I don't know, it's well over 1,000 pounds. With me on it, right?
Well, I think it's almost 1,000 pounds, right?
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. It's an extremely heavy bike. Plastics just get ripped off over rocks. That's why we're putting aluminum on it. And not only that, but there's a lot of exposed parts underneath that bike that just grab onto roots and sticks. And I've had things flying off and stuck on there. So we're gonna completely protect that, and we'll show you how to do that as well. Tires. So the Cryptids. I do like these tires. I like them a lot. They're great on a trail. They'll wash out a little bit on you because they're not really meant for trail running, you know, something with smaller lugs, a lot different pattern that's more grippy on trails. The back end will wash out on you a little bit, but I'm punching the power all the time. But they're really good in the mud. I think they're awesome in the mud. Some guys don't like them in the skeg. I kind of didn't seem to mind them. They seemed to sort of still crawl up on top when I was doing it slowly. I don't know. I really like these tires. They've got about a 2-inch lug on the side here and then 1.5 inches in the middle. They do seem to work very well. So we changed things up a little bit. The original ones that come on it are, they say they're a 30 by 9 by 14, but the actual measurement is 29.1 by 9 by 14. So it's not quite a full 30. So we've got these are a full 30. They'll be a little higher once the air is in them. They're 10 inches wide, and they're going all the way around with dual ITP beadlock rims. So there's gonna be some more flotation there, some more gripping. It's gonna be pretty cool. I do like those tires. And like I said on another video, I might do this just for fun. We might just come out one day, switch these front tires around and see how they work when they're like that. No idea. Might just play in the water, see if there's differences, do the exact same kind of run and see how it works. Check out this RJWC gas cap. Oh, yeah. And it's also got, let me see this. This one has just a little old rubber gasket in it. I always worry about these things bringing water in because of this surface. This has a big, it looks like nitrile gasket on it. That baby's going on there. Just got that in. Look at this airbox cover. It's all built of aluminum. And it's got a really awesome sealing surface on it here. And anybody who has one of these and plays in the water, you're gonna know what I mean. So this one has this little foam gasket, which seemed to work fine the first time, but now it's letting water in. That's no good. Just a piece of foam with a seam on it. Look at this seam. That's ridiculous. That's no good. So this is going on. I haven't even put this on yet. Oh, it's gonna take a little bit of working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lube that up with a little bit of that dielectric silicone. That'll be just bang on. So that's going on there. Look at that. This bike is underwater, as you can see, quite often. Look how high the mud is here. Look at that. That's, yeah. We've worked her pretty hard. So that's going on. We've got the KFI Tiger Tail to go on the back. And I think that's just about it for the update for the Can-Am. Lots of power, seems really good. The clutch kit made a huge difference. Tires are going to be the next big change. There's going to be a lot more flotation with those right there. Bigger footprint. I think it's going to be pretty good. And then we'll give you some feedback on how those work. We have some other places where we're going to go riding. We've got other tires. We've got other tires coming. Oh, yes, we do have the RJWC full exhaust system on it. A lot of guys ask me about, does it need a tuner? Do these need a tuner with the exhaust? Highly recommended. We have a tuner on ours, and it just planed it right out, just makes it run a whole lot better. These exhaust systems are quite restrictive when they come from the factory because of emissions and a whole bunch of crap. So we put this new system on, it flows a lot more. You need to add more fuel, and you can change it up with this tuner right there. And we've done that. We're gonna go to a dyno shop, a local dyno shop. We're gonna hook everything up because it does have the bungs on it, and then we're gonna really dial it in. So when you make those crucial adjustments to your clutching, to your tires, to your exhaust system, to your airflow, and to your fuel, things start to really roll. And yeah, I'm digging it. I think it's a great bike. More to come. I think I have 90 kilometers on it. Not digging that steering thing, but we're working on it. All right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. More to come. Oh, can't forget these babies either. These ITP dual bead locks. These are going on with those new tires. Got to have those bead locks. We do play around on some rocky kind of terrain. Got to have the bead locks.